This is the viewpoint that I'm remembering. Oh, I got it up in third! Sweat in my eye. Hey, there's Table Rock up there. Well, you can't have too much fun without anything going wrong. It's a neat little spot here. I like the big, see if you can't see that. I like the big open meadow. And when I first got here, I thought there might be some ant problem, since I found a few of them right off the bat, but turns out they're not around here. So we're gonna make some breakfast and wake up a little bit, drink some coffee. Then we'll get back on this old thumper and see what there is to see today. Something I found when I was looking at some footage from the other day, looking underneath here, and I was hearing this rattling yesterday, thinking, oh man, what's going on? This right here is no good. So I'm missing the screw that goes in there, the bolt that goes in there, and then on this side it's there. So, and that's this right here, if you can't see, right there. So what I'm trying to do now is figure out what else has the same thread on this bike, and I'll just kind of sacrifice part of a mounting solution for something else in order to get the crucial screw for the tank back together. So when you're out here, sometimes you just gotta make it up as you go. But we'll get some coffee going, wake up a little bit, and then we'll hit the road. Well, this toolkit's definitely come in handy this trip. There were a few things I've had to do so far, but just now I found the bolt I needed inside my chain guard and replaced that one here. So now my tank, nice and rigid. I was noticing yesterday that it seemed a little bit looser than I remembered, but it had been a while since I'd ridden this, so didn't have much to go on. Anyway, now that that's buttoned up, I'm hoping that rattling goes away. I think that's what it was. On to coffee. Okay, let's get out of here. Alright, just had to change the GoPro battery before we could get going here. Nice little spot. Never been left, but got to make some headway back towards the house. Oh yeah, that fixed the rattle. I'm excited. Oh, this thing is so much fun, especially in the morning before it has a chance to get hot and run hot. The satellite signal through this area last night was pretty weak, so there weren't very many track points captured, and as a result I'm just kind of following loosely the teal line, but I see my tracks here, so I know I came through here. I remember bits and pieces, but not enough to backtrack it competently. I was almost going to stop back in there because of this view, but I went a little farther and I'm glad I did. I like the spot that I had. So on the way back, we're not going to quite make it to Jubilee Lake. We're going to turn off just before that. There's a road that tees into it, into the main road that we came up on, and that road kind of goes up and over like a rocky peak. There's a snowmobiling cabin up there. And then you come down on the other side, you can take a different route and see Table Rock, and then come down through there, and then you pop out into Dayton. We might go that route. They've been doing a lot of maintenance work out here. These the forest has been seriously cleaned up. There's brush piles everywhere, and I mean brush piles that you need heavy equipment to put together. They're definitely, there's a pretty big initiative here to clean up the undergrowth. Like that brush pile, I mean, it's giant. Alright, let's check back in when we start covering some unfamiliar territory. As usual, I'm getting super distracted with all the roads out here, and I want to keep going, but I just don't think I can do it today. I'm just gonna go up this road just a little bit, and then we'll have to turn around. And I think we will still go out that way, out towards Dayton, or at least Tiger Creek. Not quite right. I had the balance off. I wonder if, I think all my heavy stuff's in this bag on the left. That's kind of funny. I wonder if man, there's just so much to explore here. So I shifted my weight to the right. Yeah, that feels right now. That's funny. Huh. Some cool spots back here. Ooh, marsh. All right, time to Tony Bow our way out of here. Like a dream, right? Yeah. Kind of a cool place. Well, we're headed back now until I find the next little thing that makes me go squirrel. Okay, this is the bottom of the road that distracted me. Okay, I think it's about an hour and a half ride back to Jubilee Lake. So we'll just be making some pretty good time that away. Although I think I will be stopping off at a viewpoint I remember because it's so good. So yeah, off we go. These roads are just so much fun. Snaking through the forest, you can usually see quite a ways ahead, so you don't have to worry too much about traffic. Yeah, this is a heck of a place. She'll rev up there, but you don't get a whole lot out of it. Much happier down here. Well, my hopeful feeling about this thing running cooler now that I adjusted the tank and maybe got a little more airflow. Yeah, they're gone. All the hope, it's gone. Pegged it at 250, and it's just hanging out there. But I suppose that means it probably run like that since I got it, and even before I put that temperature gauge on there. I think I'll try the oil cooler, and then if this thing doesn't start running at 230 or so, I'm gonna have to be looking at a new machine. nice. This is the viewpoint that I'm remembering. It's all foggy today, but what a cool spot. We'll get one photo of this because it's too good to pass up. What a cool spot. Here's the main road, but we're gonna check this out. That was fun. Okay, so turned around because I'm pretty sure this road is now headed back towards Tollgate, and I want to hit Jubilee Lake so that I can tee off and go the other way. See if third gear will lift it. That is pulling hard on these bars. I can't quite get it. Beautiful scenery though. Oh, I got it up in third. Nice. Basically, we're just on our way back. We took the little side fork road. It's a little bit hard to find, or hard to remember which one. So I had to use my track to sort that out. Sweat in my eye. Sweat in my eye! Oh, this is it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So right up here somewhere, before too long, is a place that I camped a couple years ago. Neat little spot off the beaten path. I remember the entrance, kind of hard to see. Maybe overgrown now, I don't know. Something like that. That was it. Alright, we are making our way back towards Jubilee Lake. Then we'll tee off and head over towards Table Rock. Later. Alright, I think this is the corner that I wrecked on. No, it's coming up. I had a hard time identifying it until I was on it on the way out here, but I kind of want to show what happened. It was a day kind of like this with the sun coming through the trees, but it was a little later in the day, and so the sun's coming through and it's flickering on your eyes, and it was on one of these corners, but the two tracks for a car, they weren't level like they were on this corner. This side was banked, but then there was kind of a drop to the next track, so cars, I'm not even sure how that works out, cars going through there, but basically it looked more like a motorcycle berm, and I didn't know. So I was on the inside lane, and then I didn't expect a drop to the second lane, and I was kind of riding like this right in the middle, and then it dropped into the second lane, and it did it so fast that I had, my front just disappeared. Had zero warning, and there was nothing I could have done about it. But I scraped up my knee pretty good, and it was a good reminder to carry a better med kit because I had to rely on my buddies. Now I have a better med kit and the SOS button, so that definitely helps. Alright, so if we go straight that way, that's Jubilee Lake, but we're hanging a right here. And this goes up and over a mountaintop where I mentioned there was that snowmobile cabin. And it gets pretty rocky, if I remember right, for a couple miles. And then it actually also gets kind of muddy usually past that. So we'll see what happens. But we got fresh tires, so we should be in good shape for whatever we find. Onward! Well, they've obviously been doing some road work up here. It's pretty loose right now. I don't know if it just needs rain or if they're not done or something, but I think this is the area that I remember being pretty rocky and bad. So they must have finally gone through and regraded. And I think we're just about to that snowmobiling cabin. Keep this weight back in this kind of stuff. You don't want that front to sink and start wandering too much. Then you got to stay in a power gear so that you've got something on tap if you need it. There. Oh, this might be... We might see that cabin yet. If it's anywhere, it's right here. Is. Bone Springs Warming Shelter, constructed by the Tollgate Trail Finders, Oregon Trails, and Skyline Snowmobile Clubs in cooperation with the U.S. Forest Service. A warming shelter. Huh. I bet they've got a small amount of supplies in there or something. Maybe something to start a small fire. Cool, so the snowmobile cabin exists. That's great. We'll check in later. Well, it turns out they regraded a long stretch of this road. Brought me down to about 20 miles an hour because without any notice, the front will just wash out on you. Being so loose. It needs another season. Full rain, snow, melt off, and packing in before it's really ready for motorcycling. At least for loaded down bikes. The Africa Twin would be a little less happy up here than this thing. I don't know when this will stop, but yeah, not much to see here. Alright, I think we finally reached the end of the regraded road. This is what the road used to look like. So here in a minute, this kind of rocky, bumpy section ends, and we pop out on some actually really nice gravel roads out here. And if we took a left, we'd go back down Mill Creek to Walla Walla, or we'll take a right, and that'll take us to Table Rock. Yeah, so this is where the worst part was. It definitely did work on it. The problem with all this loose crap is there's still rocks everywhere. You just can't see them. So you're driving along, and there might be a big rock that kicks your front out. And also there are still ruts below the loose stuff, so as you're riding, you can get kind of pulled off to the side. This is the end of it. Alright, decide to go ahead with this route, hoping that it's not so rebuilt that we can't actually get some speed going. It's just hard to tell how much of this has been loosened, so we'll be riding carefully. But from here all the way down to Dayton is 42 miles, something like that, so I think I've got enough fuel. Hey, there's Table Rock up there. You could see it just on the other side of that. Here, let me stop. It's at the tippy top of that mountain over there, the big flat rock. And on top of it is a fire lookout. there's Table Rock, the top of that mountain. So we've got a ways to go yet. One more big valley, it looks like. Cool. Yeah, we'll be there before long. Definitely getting closer. This road is just as bad as I remember it, so that's comforting. I think this is it. There. Cool. There's the fire lookout tower. And this view has got to be pretty impressive. Wow. I love how you can see over that last mountain and down into the valley. So from here, that population area right there is Walla Walla, and then you keep going all the way to the distance as far as you can see, and out somewhere over there is where I live, the Pasco. So cool. Alright, Table Rock was cool. Got to see the fire lookout, the view. Came back down from that little, side road with Table Rock on it, and we're just carrying on here. We'll be going through, I don't think I've ever actually made it through and popped out in Dayton before, so that's the goal. Running a little low on fuel for comfort, but this thing has pretty good mileage if you don't romp it too hard, so not too worried. Just gonna be taking it easy. Oh my god, you cannot tell where these ruts are until you're on the top of a berm, and that is not where you want to be. What's up here? This looks cool. Problem is, you can't tell what's up there. And this is actually pretty steep. Just front wheel is slipping. Yeah, I think I'm gonna abort for sanity check. Well, the good news is, now I can show you guys how to do this. Alright, so you're up on a hill, nose up. You don't know what to do next. I have to have my foot on this rear brake. If I don't, this thing starts sliding. So, what do? Answer is, lean uphill with the foot that doesn't have the rear brake. So I'm turning my wheel to the left, and I'm walking it so that I can lean forward, and the bike swings around. Of course, with all the loose rocks and stuff, this might take a minute, but once you kind of get it right about, maybe one more big rock right there. Okay, so once you start walking it down like this, you're leaned uphill. You no longer need that rear brake. And since you're leaned uphill, you probably can't touch. I'm super tall, but
And then if you still can't, like say you can't pull it back anymore, you can use the front tire back and forth to walk yourself down the hill. And then once you get to the spot where you're comfortable moving forward, then that's it. Very tempting though. Makes me want to know what's up there. And I want to see what other guys are actually getting up there. Okay. Well, that was a neat little detour, but we got to keep going. There we go. Check back in here in a little bit. Well, you can't have too much fun without anything going wrong. So I accidentally had this thing on reserve. So when it died and I went to flip it, oh, perfect. So lucky me, this bike has an insane amount of fuel in the, or this tank has an insane amount of fuel that does not get spent even when your reserve kills you, or when you die on reserve. So what I'm doing is I tipped the bike all the way over, so now all the fuel is in this right side tank, and I shut the left side petcock off. So I've got a bit of fuel over here and about 20 miles to go. But I don't think that I can justify keeping this on the whole time, because it really is gonna be that close. Luckily, this is all a downhill stretch, so I'm just kind of getting some momentum, finding myself a downhill stretch like this, and then killing it. So I think I'll be okay. I mean, if I was really caring, I'd fix my aero profile, but it's not that big of a deal. There's obviously traffic on this road, and I do think that at this pace, given all the potential energy I've got, I think I'll be able to make it down okay. I've probably coasted about a 2/3 coast to 1/3 power so far. But yeah, not the most fun way to get through, to finish a trip. This would have been the record coast. I coasted for a long time. So the key is use your downhill spots to accelerate. Don't accelerate much anywhere else. We'll get there. I've got 6 miles left. I've done about 8 miles of coasting probably, and it's going pretty well. It's flattening out to the point where it's not, I don't think it's energy efficient to coast anymore. So I'm just going for a nice 50 mile an hour balance here. I'm sure I'll make it. If not, well, I might have a hike. Well, we made it to town. I think that marks the end of the trip, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Nothing like a little scare at the end to keep you keep you tuned in, I guess. All right, later. 5.32 gallons. That's the most I've ever put in here by probably half a gallon. But what's cool is this side had about this much left, so I filled the other side, which was empty, to the match, and I had about a half gallon in here still, which agrees with the 5.3 because it's a 5.8 gallon tank supposedly. Close call.